The beginning of an unlikely encounter. The hum of the Vanguard's engines was a constant presence in Lieutenant Sarah Taylor's quarters, a soft reminder that the ship was still in motion, gliding through the vast emptiness of space. The starship, a gleaming marvel of human engineering, was built for deep space exploration. It had been months since Sarah and her crew had left Earth behind, and the silence of the cosmos had become both a comfort and an unnerving reminder of just how small they were in the grand scale of the universe. Sarah stood before the large observation window of her private quarters, her hands clasped behind her back as she stared at the glittering stars. It was during these moments, when she was alone with her thoughts, that she felt most connected to the unknowns of space. The universe was a vast and mysterious expanse, one that had both terrified and inspired humanity for centuries. But now, humans were part of the exploration, their reach expanding farther than ever before. With the Vanguard at the forefront, humanity had established itself as a capable species in the cosmos. But Sarah's mind wasn't solely focused on the beauty of the stars. She had just returned from a mission on the planet Xerix-3, where her team had successfully brokered a fragile peace between two alien factions that had been in conflict for centuries. The victory had been hard-earned, and Sarah felt the weight of the political and diplomatic complexities of the mission. Yet there was an unsettling feeling in her chest, as if the galaxy was holding its breath, waiting for something else to happen. Something bigger, something more unexpected. She couldn't quite shake the feeling that the universe had more in store for her and her crew. Sarah wasn't alone in her thoughts. The Vanguard was manned by a diverse crew, made up of both humans and a variety of alien species from different corners of the galaxy. Each of them brought a unique perspective, a unique skill set that made the ship a living, breathing testament to the collaborative spirit of the universe. There were engineers from Earth, medical officers from a distant planet in the Perseus galaxy, and even two xenobiologists from the Vexian Empire, their violet skin and bioluminescent tattoos glowing faintly in the dim light of the crew quarters. They all had one thing in common: a shared curiosity about the universe and a thirst for knowledge that was as boundless as space itself. As Sarah walked through the sleek, metallic halls of the ship, she couldn't help but feel a sense of pride in her crew. They had accomplished much together. The Vanguard had made history when it became the first human ship to establish long-term relations with the Barul, a mysterious race of sentient, amphibious beings who had kept to the fringes of the galaxy for millennia. They had navigated the political intricacies of several alien worlds, and with each successful mission, humanity's presence in the universe became more undeniable. Yet, Sarah knew that no matter how much they achieved, humanity would always be seen as the newcomers in the galaxy, untested, raw, and unrefined in the eyes of older, more established species. As she made her way to the ship's command center, the gentle beep of her communicator broke through her thoughts. She paused and glanced down at the small holographic screen that materialized in her palm. It was a message from the ship's captain, Commander Alex Rhee, the leader of the Vanguard, and someone Sarah respected deeply. "Lieutenant Taylor, report to the briefing room. We've received new orders. It seems the universe has a way of surprising us." The message was short, but Sarah could sense the urgency in Alex's tone. She quickly made her way to the briefing room, her mind racing. What could this new mission be? The Vanguard had already ventured deep into uncharted space, mapping distant stars and exploring ancient ruins. They had even encountered alien civilizations, some of which had been surprisingly welcoming, while others were more guarded and secretive. But nothing had prepared her for what they were about to face. When Sarah entered the briefing room, she was greeted by the familiar faces of her crew. Commander Alex Rhee, with his commanding presence and calm demeanor, stood at the head of the table, flanked by Lieutenant Samir Patel, the ship's chief engineer, and Dr. Ira Voss, the ship's xenobiologist. The walls of the room were adorned with star maps and tactical displays, each one a window into the unknown. But it was the large holographic projection in the center of the room that caught Sarah's attention. It showed a distant part of the galaxy, a region of space that had been mostly unexplored until now. "Everyone," Commander Ree began, his voice steady but filled with anticipation. "We've intercepted a mysterious signal from deep within the Andromeda sector. It's unlike anything we've encountered before. We've traced it back to an ancient alien space station, one that has been dormant for centuries." Sarah felt a chill run down her spine as she looked at the projection. An ancient alien space station. It was an enigma that beckoned with both danger and promise. No human had ever ventured into that part of the galaxy, and no one knew what secrets this station might hold. "We're sending you and your team to investigate," Ree continued. "We don't know who built it, or what remains there, but it's too important to ignore. Prepare for another deep space mission, Lieutenant Taylor." As the briefing continued, Sarah couldn't help but feel a surge of excitement mixed with a sense of foreboding. The universe was vast, and humanity was still in its infancy as an interstellar species. But now, they were on the cusp of something that could change everything they knew about the cosmos. This alien station might hold the key to understanding more advanced civilizations, and perhaps it would reveal secrets about human potential that no one had imagined before. Her thoughts drifted back to the words that had been on her mind earlier. The galaxy was an endless frontier, and humanity, for all its shortcomings, was about to prove its place among the stars. The journey ahead was bound to be dangerous, and the challenges they would face would test the limits of their courage, ingenuity, and resilience. But Sarah Taylor was ready. She knew that the strength of humanity lay in its ability to adapt, to learn, and to fight for its future, no matter what that future might hold. As the Vanguard prepared for its new mission, Sarah stood tall, ready to face whatever the universe had in store. She couldn't help but feel a deep sense of pride in the crew she led and the humanity they represented. The universe was waiting, and it was time for the human race to make its mark on the stars. The alien encounter. The Vanguard hummed gently as it made its way through the unknown stretches of the Andromeda sector. For weeks, the crew had been navigating the farthest reaches of human exploration, each moment adding to the growing legacy of humanity's place among the stars. Yet despite their impressive technological advancements, a sense of trepidation lingered on the ship. No one had ventured this far before. No one had encountered anything like the mysterious signal that had drawn them to this uncharted corner of space. Sarah Taylor, now fully briefed on the mission ahead, stood on the observation deck, staring out into the vast expanse. The stars beyond were more distant than they had ever been, each one representing a mystery waiting to be unlocked. Her thoughts were interrupted by the low buzz of the communicator in her pocket, signaling an incoming message. It was from Commander Alex Ree. "Lieutenant, we're approaching the coordinates. Get to the bridge. It's time." Sarah's pulse quickened, and she made her way to the ship's command center. As she entered the bridge, the crew was already busy preparing for the unknown. Lieutenant Samir Patel, the chief engineer, was calibrating the ship's systems for the arrival at the coordinates. Dr. Ira Voss, the ship's xenobiologist, was reviewing a 3D model of the alien space station based on the data they had gathered from the signal. The model was a complex and intricate structure, unlike anything Sarah had seen before. It resembled a colossal ring, its outer edges studded with mysterious symbols that seemed to pulse with a faint, almost imperceptible light. "Lieutenant, we're within range," Commander Ree said, his voice calm but steady as ever. "The station is just ahead. Samir, initiate passive scanning. Era, ready the xenobiological team. We need to be prepared for anything." Sarah nodded, her mind racing. An ancient alien station. The possibilities were endless, but so were the dangers. What kind of beings had created this place? What secrets did it hold? And what might be lurking within? "We're ready to make history," she said, though her words carried a sense of uncertainty. The anticipation was palpable on the bridge. As the Vanguard drifted closer to the station, the crew's collective breath seemed to hold. The space station, though vast, had been dormant for centuries. Its surfaces were covered in an eerie bioluminescent glow that flickered like the heartbeat of a dying star. The ship's sensors detected no immediate signs of life, but there was a hum, a strange resonance that vibrated through the very air around them. "Lieutenant Taylor, we'll need you to lead the team in the next phase," Commander Rhee said. "Prepare for docking. We're about to board this relic, and I need someone with both the diplomatic skills and nerve to make first contact, if there's anyone still here." Sarah squared her shoulders, feeling the weight of the moment. It wasn't just a mission anymore. It was a crossroads, one where humanity's future might be shaped. They were about to walk in the footsteps of ancient civilizations, perhaps unlocking the knowledge that could propel humanity into a new era of exploration and understanding. Or they might find something far more dangerous, something that would test every ounce of their resilience. The Vanguard docked with the space station with a soft, metallic thud. The airlock hissed open, revealing a cold, metallic corridor that stretched out before them like a tunnel into the unknown. The interior was eerily quiet, save for the faint hum of machinery that seemed to echo through the walls. The structure, though ancient, appeared to be remarkably well preserved, its technology clearly far more advanced than anything humanity had ever encountered. Sarah and her team, equipped with their standard-issue suits and life support systems, stepped into the corridor. The walls were adorned with intricate carvings, and faint symbols glowed along the edges, casting an otherworldly light on the teens' faces. As they advanced deeper into the station, they noticed something strange. There were no signs of life. No aliens, no creatures, no bodies. Just an empty, silent space that stretched for what felt like miles. "Stay alert," Sarah instructed, her voice low and steady. "This place may be deserted, but something doesn't feel right." The deeper they went, the more surreal the experience became. The walls of the station seemed to bend and twist in ways that defied conventional physics. At times, the corridors would widen, revealing vast chambers that seemed to open up into infinity, only to narrow again without warning, creating an oppressive feeling of claustrophobia. The technology was both alien and familiar, with holographic displays that flickered intermittently, showing strange geometric shapes that seemed to shift and change before their eyes. As they reached what appeared to be the central hub of the station, Sarah felt a chill run down her spine. The room before them was vast, stretching out like the interior of a cathedral. At the center of the room stood a massive cylindrical structure that seemed to pulse with a soft, glowing light. Around it were complex machines, their function unclear but undoubtedly sophisticated. The air smelled of old metal and something else, something faintly organic, like the scent of an ancient forest. Suddenly, a faint sound broke the silence, a low, rhythmic hum that grew louder with each passing second. The team exchanged uneasy glances, their hands instinctively moving toward their weapons, even though they had encountered no threats thus far. The hum was almost hypnotic, drawing them closer to the central structure. As they approached, the sound grew louder still, until it seemed to vibrate through the very walls of the station. "Is that a heartbeat?" Samir asked, his voice trembling slightly. Before anyone could respond, a flash of light erupted from the center of the cylindrical structure. The room was filled with a blinding white light, and Sarah felt her body tense, instinctively raising her arms to shield her eyes. When the light subsided, the room was filled with an alien presence, something that defied logic and understanding. There, floating before them, was an entity that defied all attempts at classification. It was humanoid, yet completely alien. Its skin was translucent, shimmering with an iridescent glow that seemed to shift colors with every movement. The creature's eyes were vast, almost liquid, and within them, Sarah could see swirling galaxies of stars, nebulae, and cosmic patterns that she could barely comprehend. It was both beautiful and terrifying, a being far older and more advanced than anything humanity had ever encountered. For a moment, no one spoke. The team stood frozen, awestruck by the sight before them. The entity moved with an elegance that seemed unnatural, its body shifting and flowing as if made of light itself. And then, without warning, it spoke, a voice that echoed in their minds, as though it was not coming from any one source, but from everywhere at once. "You are not alone," the voice said, its tone calm but filled with an ancient wisdom that resonated deep within Sarah's chest. "Humanity has arrived." Sarah took a cautious step forward, her heart pounding in her chest. This was it, the first contact, the moment that would define humanity's future in the galaxy. The entity had acknowledged them. It had spoken to them. "Who are you?" Sarah asked, her voice steady despite the chaos of emotions swirling inside her. "What is this place?" The entity did not answer directly. Instead, it moved toward them, its presence overwhelming and yet strangely peaceful. It pointed to the cylindrical structure behind it, and the holographic projections that surrounded them suddenly came to life, displaying ancient star maps and symbols. "This is a library," the entity's voice echoed in their minds. "A repository of knowledge. You, humanity, are now part of a greater cosmic tapestry. The question is not who we are, but what you will do with the knowledge you have found." In that moment, Sarah understood. This was not just a discovery. It was a test of humanity's potential and its place in the universe. And she, along with her crew, would be the ones to determine the outcome. The cosmic revelation. The air in the room felt heavier as Sarah Taylor stood face to face with the ancient alien entity. Its iridescent body shimmered like a living constellation, and its immense presence radiated power, wisdom, and something else. Something Sarah couldn't quite place. The language it spoke wasn't spoken aloud, but instead reverberated directly in her mind, bypassing any need for translation. The words were crystal clear, yet still unsettling. "You are now part of a greater cosmic tapestry." Sarah's heart raced. The entity had acknowledged humanity. But what did that mean? How were they part of this tapestry? And what knowledge had they found that could reshape their future? She exchanged uneasy glances with her crew. There was a lot to unpack, and it was clear that this was just the beginning. The holographic projections around them flickered to life, displaying star maps, ancient symbols, and complex, geometric patterns. The vastness of the display was overwhelming. There were galaxies Sarah had never even heard of, nebulae whose colors seemed far too vibrant to exist in nature, and intricate shapes that defied her understanding of physics. It was as though the universe itself was laid out before her, waiting for her to comprehend its secrets. Dr. Ira Voss, the xenobiologist, stepped forward, her eyes wide with awe. This is a map of the cosmos, but it's unlike anything we've ever seen. These stars, they're not just distant lights. They're connections, networks. As she spoke, the hologram shifted, and the stars began to connect through glowing lines, forming a massive web. The interconnecting lines twisted and turned, creating a structure that was both chaotic and intricately organized. It resembled a neural network, a map of vast intelligence stretching across the universe. "What are these connections?" Sarah asked, her voice steady despite the rising tide of questions flooding her mind. The entity's voice rippled through her thoughts once again. "The connections represent the flow of knowledge, the exchange of life, and the evolution of civilizations across the galaxies. Some are young, like yours. Others have been here for millennia, guarding the cosmic wisdom passed down through the ages. This station, this place, is a part of that legacy." The words settled heavily on Sarah's chest. Her crew was stunned into silence. Knowledge, life, evolution. This wasn't just a place of alien technology. It was a monument to the exchange of wisdom, a place that had witnessed countless civilizations rise and fall. Sarah couldn't even begin to process the weight of what she was hearing. "We've encountered relics before," Dr. Voss continued. "But this is something entirely different. It's alive, in a sense. This network, this system, it's not just about technology. It's about consciousness." "Yes," the entity replied, its voice flowing through Sarah's mind like the echo of 1,000 voices, consciousness in all forms, across all species. The network is the culmination of every species that has ever sought to understand the universe. Your species, humanity, is now a part of that greater whole. It was hard to absorb, but Sarah understood the gravity of it. Humanity had been invited into a cosmic network, one that spanned galaxies and millennia. A network of knowledge, life, and evolution. It was more than a discovery. It was a gift, a responsibility, and a challenge. What would humanity do with such power? How would they prove themselves worthy? Commander Alex Ree, who had been quietly observing the scene, finally spoke. What does this mean for humanity? What role are we meant to play in this network? The entity paused, its shimmering form flickering as though considering the question. Your species has potential, untapped and raw. You are young in the ways of the cosmos, but you are resilient. You are adaptable. But your greatest strength lies not in your technology or your intelligence. It lies in your spirit, your curiosity, and your ability to change. You will be tested. Sarah felt the weight of the entity's words like a physical pressure on her chest. They would be tested, but how? What kind of test awaited humanity? You must prove your worth by understanding. The entity continued. You will have to journey into the unknown, beyond the reaches of what you know, and unlock the secrets of the ancient civilizations that once thrived before you. You will seek knowledge, not just for the sake of discovery, but for the advancement of all species. But be warned, not all knowledge is meant to be used. Some truths are too dangerous for any being to comprehend. Era stepped forward, her eyes filled with wonder. Are we meant to uncover the lost civilizations, the ones that once existed and left behind their knowledge? The entity's eyes, vast and filled with swirling galaxies, locked onto Era. Yes, but more than that. You will encounter beings, cultures, and technologies that will challenge your very existence. Some will seek to stop you. Some will wish to help. And others will test your values, your morals, and your very understanding of the universe. You will face both great dangers and great wonders. Sarah took a deep breath. She had heard of the great civilizations that had existed long before humanity's rise, species that had mastered the stars, who had transcended time itself. But the thought of encountering them, of standing before their remains, was both thrilling and terrifying. They would have to navigate not just ancient ruins, but also the moral dilemmas that came with such profound knowledge. Commander Ree turned to Sarah. So what now? Do we start exploring the station? Sarah nodded. Yes, but carefully. We don't know what kind of risks we're dealing with yet. This station might have knowledge, but it also holds unknown dangers. We'll explore, but we'll tread carefully. Every discovery will come with consequences. The entity's form shimmered once more, and its voice echoed through Sarah's mind. Your journey will begin with a choice. Choose wisely, for this choice will set the path you will follow. You will choose the next step in your evolution, the next chapter in your story. It will not be an easy one. Sarah's heart pounded. The gravity of what the entity was saying was not lost on her. This wasn't just a test of intelligence or bravery. It was a test of humanity's very essence, its ability to make choices, to evolve, and to rise above the dangers that lay ahead. This was a crossroads, and the fate of humanity's future hung in the balance. The holographic projections surrounding them flickered again, showing a new map, one that was different from the star maps they had seen before. This map was not of stars or planets, but of symbols, ancient markings that glowed with an ethereal light. This is the path, the entity said, the path to understanding. Follow it, and you will find the answers to the questions that have plagued your species. But beware, the path is not linear. There will be twists, turns, and choices that will challenge everything you know. Sarah took a step forward, feeling a sense of purpose rise within her. It was clear that the road ahead would not be easy. They would have to face unimaginable challenges, and not all of them would be physical. Some would be intellectual, emotional, and philosophical. Humanity would have to prove that it was worthy of being part of this cosmic network. "We're ready," Sarah said, her voice steady despite the overwhelming nature of what they were about to undertake. "We will find the answers, and we will prove that humanity is more than just a primitive species. We are ready to evolve, to learn, and to become something greater." The entity's form flickered one last time, as if it were giving them a silent approval. "Then begin your journey, Lieutenant Taylor. The universe is vast, and the path ahead will be as extraordinary as your species." And with that, the journey into the unknown began. The road would be long, and the tests would be grueling, but humanity had been given a chance. A chance to evolve. A chance to prove that they, too, could be part of the cosmic tapestry, forever woven into the grand design of the universe.